Hello everyone, welcome to Raaonline. Today we will discuss our new chapter in Crash, that is neural control and the coordination, right? We'll discuss about its summary in the form of the questions correlated with the NCERT, right? As you know that neural control, that means in this, as you can see here in that particular diagram, these are the arrangements of the neurons, right? These are the arrangements of the neurons. Actually, the whole nervous system is made up of mainly two kinds of cells, right? Which is present in whole brain or the whole nervous system. That is neuron and the neuroglia, right? Neuron and the neuroglia. And as we know, neurons, there are number of neurons, that is 100 billion neurons is present in our brain, right? 100 billion neurons are present in brain. So imagine that 100 billion neurons, it's not a minimum amount, it's a maximum, right? Huge amount. So how they arrange in our brain, right? So it's a dense network actually, right? And you can see here, these are the neurons, number of neurons are attached with each other with the junctions or some synapses, right? And neural control and coordination, how we coordinate according to that, right? Simply we follow our thought process actually, right? What we think, we will do it, right? Our muscles, which are the involuntary in nature, they work accordingly, clear? They are not voluntarily controlled. Same as that, when we talk about the sensory organs, eye is responsible for the vision, right? Eye is responsible for the vision, ear is responsible for the hearing, clear? So all these are what we see, that is the eye coordinate with that, right? If in the path or in the way we go, right, we follow the way, in that particular way some digs are there, right? So, then what will happen? If we can't see them, then we will fall in them, right? So simply the coordination between the sensory organ, your thought processes, your body coordination, all this depends upon our nervous system, right? And 10 to 15 trillion neuroglias are present, which supports the neurons, right? So this is the neural control and the coordination in very small definition, right? Now come to the, as we know that neuron, which is the structural and functional unit of nervous system, right? Neuron is the structural and functional unit of the nervous system. So mainly approximately 100 billion neurons are present, right? 100 billions neurons are present in our brain, and to support these neurons, some neuroglial cells are present, right? Neuroglial cells are present. These neuroglial cells are also known as the glial cells and also known as the supporting cells, because they support the neurons, right? And their number is 10 to 15 trillion, right? 10 to 15 trillion neuroglial cells are present. So what will happen? Neuron, what is the neuron? Actually that neuron is a cell like structure. See here, that is your neuron, right? These are the dendrites, these are the dendrites processes which carry impulses towards the cyton, right? And this is the cyton, this is the nucleus with nacelle granules, this is the axon hillock, right? That is the axon hillock, that is axon, this is axon terminal, and from axon terminal these are the synaptic axon terminal synaptic knobs, right? In these synaptic knobs, what will happen? Synaptic vesicles are present, which is filled with the neurotransmitters, right? Which are filled with the neurotransmitters. So we can say the neuron is the structural and functional unit of the nervous system, right? Now come to the first question, which is not the function of the neuron, right? Which is not the function of the neuron. That not is very important, right? To detect stimuli, that is the function of the neuron. To receive the stimuli, that is the function of the neuron. To transmit the stimuli and impulses, that is also the function of the neuron. So the answer is the none, right? So answer is the none, because all these functions are the functions of the neurons, and that information in NCERT is given at page number 316, heading number 21.1, right? All these are the statement of that particular heading, that is the neural system, right? In which they mention the function of the neurons are to detect the stimuli, to receive the stimuli, to transmit the stimuli or the impulses, right? Stimuli, that is any kind of impulse, right? That any kind of external impulses, which is obviously when we prick something like that in our hand, or when anything pricking our body or touch our body surface, so we can perceive that stimulus, right? We can perceive that stimulus, even we can feel each and every touch at our body surface, right? Even the touch of the cloths also, clear? Even the touch of the cloths also. So simply all these are the functions of the neurons, because in the whole body the nerve endings are present to detect these stimuli, and these nerve endings go through it takes the impulses in the form of sensory neurons, which carry the sensations, which carry the senses, right? And goes towards the to detect them through the brain, and after that they detect these stimuli, right? And according to that, our motor neurons carry the impulses from CNS to the effector organs, and we react according to them, right? Identify the wrong statement. Identify the wrong statement. Hydra is composed of network of neurons. Exactly correct, right? Neural organization is very complex in lower invertebrates. No, it is very simple actually. This is also a line of the NCERT, right? It is mentioned in same page number, that is 316, in heading 21.1, in second paragraph, right? In second paragraph, first line is that neural organization is very simple in lower invertebrates, right? And in second line, they mentioned that the hydra is composed of the network of the neurons, right? So brain along with the ganglia and neural tissue is a feature of insects neural system, correct, right? And so according to that question, the answer is B, right? The answer is B, so the wrong statement is the B. Clear? Come to the third one. In the above flow chart, while write names of 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 respectively, right? Actually, this is the classification of the nervous system, the whole nervous system divided into two, that is central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system, right? That central nervous system is made up of the brain and the spinal cord, right? Now that peripheral nervous system is divided into somatic nervous system and autonomic nervous system, right? And now that autonomic nervous system is divided into two, that is the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. Sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. Clear? So when we correlated with options now, first is the brain and spinal cord. So A option is cancelled. Now answer is in these three options, right? Second is the spinal cord, spinal cord, spinal cord, spinal cord, right? Then somatic nervous system is third. Autonomic nervous system, it is cancelled. Somatic nervous system is given in both C and D. Then fourth one is the autonomous nervous system. Autonomous nervous system is given in C option and parasympathetic. So D is also cancelled. So the answer is the C, right? Next, that is identify the wrong statement. First, when we see here, that is the afferent fibers, the efferent fibers, the somatic nervous system and the autonomic nervous system, right? What are these? What are they doing, right? Actually, when we talk about the afferent fibers, right? What are the afferent fibers? A for afferent, A for ana. That means these are the fibers which carry impulses, right? Which carry impulses from tissue or organ to CNS, that is central nervous system, right? The transmission of nerve impulses from tissue or organ to the CNS, it is carried by the afferent nerve fibers. And when we talk about the efferent fibers, efferent, E for efferent, E for exit, right? That means they carry the impulses from CNS to the effector organs, right? From CNS to the effector organs. Clear? So these are the fibers, that is afferent fibers and the efferent fibers, which carry the impulses from CNS to organ and organ to CNS. Clear? The another name in the question, that is the somatic nervous system. Somatic nervous system. Soma, that means the body, right? So actually it carries impulses from CNS, that is central nervous system, to the skeletal muscles, right? Or we can say it carries impulses from CNS to the striated muscles or the voluntary muscles, right? And when we talk about the autonomic autonomic nervous system, then what will happen? Autonomic, that is autonomous. Autonomous, that means the self-governed, right? Autonomous, that means the self-governed. So what will happen? Self-governed, autonomous. Actually, that system is not under the control of our thought process or our thinking, right? It is self-governed. Autonomic nervous system divided into two parts, that is the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system, right? Which regulate the whole processes of the body, especially of the smooth muscles, right? Clear? And a lot of centers is regulated by the autonomic nervous system. Clear? So we can say it carry the impulses from CNS to involuntary organs and the smooth muscles of the body. Clear? Divided into two parts. Sympathetic, and second one is the parasympathetic nervous system, right? So now in that question, identify the wrong statement, right? The afferent nerve fibers of PNS transmit impulses from organ to CNS. Correct, right? See here, we already studied that, na? These the afferent fibers from tissue to CNS, right? So same, these impulses from organs to the CNS, that the efferent fibers of PNS, that is peripheral nervous system, transmit the regulatory impulse from CNS to concerned organ or the tissue. Correct, exactly. Somatic nervous system relays impulses from CNS to smooth muscles. Is it right? Is it right? It carries impulses from CNS to skeletal muscles, right? So it's not to smooth muscle, that statement is wrong. Autonomic nervous system transmit impulses from CNS to skeletal muscle. No, it is the function of the somatic nervous system. So both statements are the wrong. So the answer is the C, that is 3 and 4 both, right? Now come to the next one, that is cell dendrite and the axon are the part of, that they are the part of the neurons, right? They are the part of the neuron. So as we know that the neurons, dendrites, the cell body dendrites and axon are the part of the neuron. They are not the nephron. Nephron is, that is the kidney, that is related with the kidney, which is the structural and functional unit of the kidney, right? Functional unit of the neural system is the neuron, right? But when we talk about that, right, so structural and functional unit of, so this is also right and this is also right, right? Because it is, neuron is the structural and functional unit of the nervous system. So can we mark the answer both B and C? Yes, we can. So the answer is the D, right? So the answer is the D. Clear? Both these options are the correct. Both these are the correct option, right? So these are the correct and both are the same. So the answer is the D. Clear? That is both B and C. That is cell body, dendrite and axon are the part of the neuron, which is the functional unit of the neural system. You can see here, this is the NCRT diagram, right? That information is given in NCERT page number 316, 317, right? Heading number 21.3. Clear? And that diagram is given in page number 317, right? Figure number 21.1. Clear? So basically that is the structure of the neuron. That is the structure of the neuron. You can see here, these are the dendrites, right? That is the cyton with the nucleus, right? Cell body, which is also known as the cyton. That cell body is also known as the cyton, right? These are the Nissel's granules. These are the Nissel's granules which are present in the soma or the cyton, right, and the cytoplasm. These are the Schwann cell nucleus, right, which spirally around the axon and form the myelin sheath. They form the myelin sheath, right? These are the myelin sheath, and at the time of conduction of nerve impulses, because these myelin sheath are insulated for the ions, so they cannot exchange the or they cannot transmit the impulse, right? So that's why when the impulses come there, then the impulses jump from node of Ranvier to node of Ranvier. There are some certain points are there where the myelin sheath is interrupted, right? Where the myelin sheath is absent or the interrupted, these points are, these nodes are called the nodes of Ranvier. These are called the nodes of Ranviers, right? And you can see this is the axon terminal, and these are the synaptic knobs, and in this synaptic knob, synaptic vesicles are present, which is filled with the neurotransmitter, right? That portion of the axon and between the axon and dendrite, right, that portion is called the axon hillock, right? That portion is called the axon hillock, where the dendrites and where the Nissel's granules are absent. Where the Nissel's granules are absent, that is also the question of pre-medical, right? So these are the dendrites actually. These are the dendrites, and what is the function of the dendrite? It carry impulses towards the cyton, right? And when we talk about the axon, carry impulses away from the cyton, right? Dendrites carries impulses towards the cyton, axon carries impulses away from cyton, right? So you can see here, that is the dendrites carry the impulse towards the cyton and axon carry impulses away from cyton, right? So these are the question of pre-medical which is asked in the previous year's examinations, right? So now you can differentiate it. The part of the neurons are the cell body, dendrite and the axon, right? Now come to the next, that is Nissel's granules are present in. These Nissel's granules These Nissel's granules are present in the cyton, right? They are present in the cyton, and we can say little bit amount of the dendrite, right? But they are absent in the axon. So myelin sheath, no. Exoplasm, no. Cell body, yes. Both and C, wrong, right? So the answer is cell body, and that information is given, exact line is given in NCERT page number 316, right, at heading number 21.3 in last second last line, right, which is given about the Nissel's granules. Clear? These Nissel's granules are made up of the mRNA and the ribosomes, right? These Nissel's granules are made up of the mRNA, ribosomes. This is the question of pre-medical, and endoplasmic reticulum, right? So memorize it properly. Now come to the next question, that is the 7th. Name the nerve fibers containing the Nissel's granules along with the direction of impulse transition in it, right? These are the, obviously they are not the axons because Nissel's granules are absent in the axon, right? So the options, they are cancelled. Now come to the dendrites. Dendrites carries impulses towards the cell body, right? So that option is also wrong, right? So dendrites towards the cell body. So answer is D. Actually this is the line of NCERT regarding that dendrite, right? Same NCERT page number 316, 21.3, last line about the dendrite. Clear? So these are the Nissel's granules are present in only cyton and the dendrite, right? And dendrite carry impulses towards the cyton. Away from the cyton is the function of the axon, right? And in that question is, they says that containing the Nissel's granules, right, along with the direction of the impulses. That's where the answer is the dendrite, right? Now come to the next question. Come to the next question, that is major portion of spinal and cranial nerve is formed by, right? First one is the unmyelinated nerve fiber, second is the myelinated nerve fiber, third one is the both equally, and fourth one is the none. So major portion of the spinal nerves and the cranial nerves, when we're talking about that, then the answer is the myelinated nerve fibers are present in maximum portion of the spinal and the cranial nerves, right? Why? As we know that this is the axis cylinder in which these are the fibers, right? And this is the myelin sheath. Right? And that myelin sheath spirally is arranged around the axon, right? That Schwann cells actually spirally arrange around the axon and forms the myelin sheath. And as we know that these are the Schwann cell nucleus. Outside, neurilemma is present. Right, outside that neurilemma is present, and as we know that myelin sheath is insulated, right, so it cannot carry the impulses. So simply what will happen, that myelin sheath, that these are called the nodes of Ranvier, right, these are called the nodes of Ranvier, where the myelin sheath is interrupted, right, that is the Schwann cell nucleus. Right, that is the Schwann cell nucleus. These are the axis cylinder, with fibers, right. So when the nerve impulse is transmitted, so nerve impulse is transmitted like that, right, and the nerve, in that manner nerve impulses transmit very fast as compared to the unmyelinated nerve fibers, right. In unmyelinated nerve fibers there are axis cylinder with the fibers are present here, right, but there is no myelin sheath is not present here. But what will happen instead of that? Even node of Ranviers are absent, but neurilemma and Schwann cell nucleus are present, right. So when the nerve impulse is transmitted through the unmyelinated fibers, then when we compare both of these in the conduction of the nerve impulses, so nerve impulses transmitted more fast than in the myelinated nerve fibers due to the presence of the node of Ranvier, right. So that's why the major portion of the spinal and cranial nerves is formed by the myelinated nerve fibers. So we can so in our body the transmission of nerve impulse is very fast, right. Now come to the next question, that is the gaps which are present in the unmyelinated nerve fibers. That is unmyelinated nerve fibers, that means what? That unmyelinated nerve fibers, that means the myelin sheath is absent, and as you can see here there is no gap, right. Gap is present in the myelinated nerve fibers. So the answer is what? None. Clear? So the answer is none. Right? Come to the next one. Synaptic knob vesicles, right? Synaptic knob or vesicles. These are filled with the neurotransmitters, right? So 1, 3 multipolar neurons, that is multipolar neurons, that is one axon and multiple dendrites or two dendrites, right. So the 2, multipolar 2, bipolar that is 1 axon and 1 dendrite, bi that is 2, right? So the example that is bipolar is 1 axon 1 dendrite, and unipolar that is 1 axon is present, right? So according to that 1 3 is present in all, that is second option is cancelled, right? 2 2 2 2 cancelled, 2 2 only present in D, so the answer is D. But now that question is related with, it is given in NCERT page number 317, right? In page number 317, 21.3, clear? What? See, when we talk about the multipolar neuron, right, you can see here, this is the multipolar neuron, right? That is 1 axon and the more than 2 dendrites, right? More than the 2 dendrites. So this is the multipolar neuron, and multipolar neuron is present in our cerebral cortex, right? The multipolar neurons are present in our cerebral cortex, right? So multipolar neuron, that is one axon with 2 or more than 2 dendrites, right? Like right? And this is the nucleus in cyton, right? So multiple dendrites with 1 axon, right? That is axon. That is, these are the dendrites. So these are present in brain and spinal cord, right? Brain and the spinal cord, and we can say the better, that is in NCRT it is given in the name of cerebral cortex, right? It is present in the brain, and we can say the cerebral cortex, right? Now come to the next, that is bipolar neuron. Bipolar, that is bi, that means 2. Bi, that means 2, right? So this is the axon, and here that is the dendrite, right, with that cyton. So at one pole that is the dendrite, one dendrite and one axon, right? So this is the bipolar neuron, and example is, that is one dendrite and one axon. Example is, it is present in the retina of eye, and second one is the olfactory epithelium, right? Second one is the olfactory epithelium. First one is the retina of eye and second one is the olfactory epithelium, and the third one is the unipolar neuron, right? The third one is the unipolar neuron. Uni, that is single, right? Uni, that means single. In that unipolar, the cell body is present only with the single axon. There is no dendrite, right? Only axon is present, and they are present mostly in the embryonic stage, right? Unipolar neurons are present mostly in the embryonic stage. Clear? So these are the types of the neurons which are present, right? So simply on the basis of that, the answer is D, right? And as we know that there is a new word here, that is neurotransmitter. What are these neurotransmitters? These are the chemicals actually, right? These are the chemicals which transmit impulses, which transmit the informations in the form of the chemicals, right?